All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll please find your seats, we're ready to get started. If you'll please put your hands together and make welcome Mesa Public Schools Athletic Director, Tommy Eubanks.
Mesa Sports Hall of Fame. Here's a little rundown of how the evening will go. We're going to bring on the new inductees. We actually have some current Mesa student athletes that are going to come up and induct them and bring them up on the stage. They'll be very nervous at the time, I'm sure. So if we can help them along and give them a big round of applause, that would be great. Secondly, I would really like to thank all of the Mesa Sports Hall of Fame board members. If you could all wave, there's some in the back, some up front. They spend countless hours all around the year. And last of all, I'd like to thank all the parents and teachers that influenced all of our inductees that are going to be up on the stage tonight. I'm sure that they would not be where they were or be at this special event tonight if it wasn't for you. So thank you for all the parents for driving to all the tournaments and sporting events, 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week, and thank you very much.
All right, thank you. How about another big hand for Tommy and all he does for Mesa Athletics?
I would now like for everybody to turn their attention to the amazing and the greatest in the Southwest, if not the nation, junior ROTC color guard from Red Mountain High School. And if you'll please stand as they come in. And then we will be having the pleasure of hearing the national anthem sung by Lakin Skinner.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Lincoln.
That's a female color guard crew right there, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for them. It's with great pleasure I introduce this next gentleman. He's an icon here in Mesa and a tremendous, tremendous individual, and he's been asked to lead us in our invocation tonight. Would you please make welcome Coach Bill McCain.
The sportsman, the prayer of the sportsman. Dear Lord, in the battle that goes on through life, I ask but a field that is fair, a chance that is equal with all in the strife, the courage to strive and to dare. If I should win, let it be by the cold, with my faith and my honor held high. If I should lose, let me stand by the road and cheer as the winners go by. Let us pray. Our dear Father in heaven, we're grateful for this night. We are grateful for the people that have worked so hard to make this night possible. We're grateful for the families that are able to come to honor and recognize those who have achieved so much in their career. We're grateful for these athletes, for these teams and these coaches. We're grateful, Father in heaven, that we can be a part of this to recognize their accomplishments and share with them their honor. We ask thy blessing to be with us this night, and this we ask in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Coach. And he'll be back up here. I was so excited when JR asked me to be a part of this tonight. My name's Darren Shumway. I'm a 1984 graduate of Westwood High School. My claim to fame is I think I was the 7th runner on our state championship cross-country team that year. So I'm one of the most mediocre and longest from ever being inducted into the Mesa Sports Hall of Fame. However, many of you here would remember my dad, who is Coach Shumway, who worked for the Mesa Public Schools for over 35 years. We lost him 10 years ago, but I'm working on getting him inducted someday to the Hall of Fame. I know many here have associated with him. I would like to take 1 minute and have two things happen. One, I would like to have any members, current members, that are Hall of Fame, Mesa Hall of Fame inductees, if you would please stand and let us recognize you. We're not going to call you out by name, but please stand so we know you're here. Many of our board members. Tell you, thank you so much for paving the way. The other thing I love to do at these events that I think is so important, and because we have such a rich heritage here in Mesa of being able to have the freedom to participate in sports in the manner in which we do, I would love it if you would indulge me and have everybody who has served or might be currently serving in any one of our armed services to please stand up as a veteran and let us recognize you. If you have served in the military, please stand up and let us recognize you. I would also like to ask any police officers or first responders. Thank you so much. I had the great opportunity of serving in the United States Air Force from March of '88 to '98, and that was a great time for me. Well, let's get on to the awards. We have some great teams, great individuals, and athletes to be recognized tonight. We are going to start off, and if Coach Lynch from the 2003-2004 Mesa High boys basketball team would come up. If Coach and any of the players that are here tonight, please come up and receive your awards, be recognized, and maybe we would be honored to hear just a few words from Coach Lynch.
All right, hey, thank you. Not one of us has changed one bit. Looks great. Hey, I would just like to first thank the Hall of Fame committee for honoring us and for what you guys do each year. Not every school district, not every part of the city carries on traditions like Mesa does, and I think that it's super important and super special. So thank you to the Hall of Fame committee. In regard to our team, just an awesome chemistry. Well, let me introduce the people we have here and I'll speak on it. But we've got William Myers, Jorge Soto, Graham Hatch, John Arnett, Matt Kamenda, Taylor Ayers, Brian Garner, Coach Shelby Jones, and Brandon Blitz. He's the head coach of NAU, and they're in Hawaii right now. He can't be here. And then we're missing some players, Lee Kumar, Michael Crowell, Akeem Jackson, Jonathan Rothman, and Bruce Delman. And that would be our squad. So really glad to be up here with these men. Oh, and we're missing Travis LeBaron. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Okay. So, hey, well, I guess what I'd like to say is when you're in education quite a while and you coach quite a while, I think you grow thankful for the opportunity to be a part of it, and especially to have the opportunity to be a part of specialness. And 2014 was special, and the specialness came from years of work with these young men. They know it, but there's also chemistry that happens. And I've coached for a long time, I still do, and this was a special year. Incredible chemistry, and with that chemistry, kind of a brotherhood. And that's special to me. The men that are up here have touched me. Every single one of them are special to me and have touched me more than they even know, more than they could even imagine. And I'm just thankful that I could be a part of it. And if you want to say anything about this group here in terms of players, hey, these look like nice, calm young men here. These were mean individuals. Okay? And when I say mean individuals, the language I'm using is appropriate for the auditorium. Okay? If we were in a different situation, we would be using other language with these guys, because these guys would compete. They were tough. They compete with each other. They did not like to lose. And just a special situation that I'm truly fortunate to have been a part of. So, hey, the best basketball team that Mesa High has ever had, hey, the 2004, hey, Mesa High Jackrabbits. Thank you. Carry on.
Hey, we'd like you guys all to get a certificate and then pose for a picture right out here.
Do they need to lift up the house lights for a good picture, or are you good on your lighting? You guys come on out a little bit. One more time here, 2003, 2004 men's high school state champions from Mesa High. Yeah. All right, our next team we want to recognize, if I could have Coach Dennis McGowan come up from the 2003, 2004 Dobson Boys Golf. And any of your athletes are with you, if they'd come up and be recognized with you as well. Coach McGowan. I got a chance to meet Dennis out in the foyer, and he told me when he started doing his student teaching is when he met my dad. And so I already feel like I know him. And Dobson High has produced some, and Red Mountain High has produced some tremendous golf athletes. Here you go, Coach. Or you can come back here if you want, if you feel better behind the podium.
Thanks, everybody. It's nice to be here tonight. It's a real honor to be here in the presence of so many terrific athletes and players, whatever. It was a special season for us that year. I was the golf coach at Dobson High for 23 years. This was my 22nd year coaching the team, and we had been close before. We had finished second 4 times. As a matter of fact, 3 of those times we had finished second to Red Mountain, and so those were interesting times. But I'm very pleased that 3 of our seniors, we were a very senior team that year, and 3 of the seniors, I'm glad they could show up. I got a little worried I might be up here by myself tonight. But Brent Buck and Kerry Bruce and Nick Lipstadt were 3 of the seniors that had been with us for 3 or 4 years. Some of the seniors who couldn't make it tonight, Chase Bingham and TJ Rickard and Ryan Coughlin and Brian Thames. And then we had some underclassmen on that team. Connor Hook was a member of the team, and Brett Bingham was a member of the team, and Daniel Harrington and Cody Marks. And I'm not sure, did I get all 12 guys there? I think I did. But we were a senior team. We were dominating. We had 7 seniors that year, and I think our season actually started the year before at the state championship in 2002. We were playing at the old Vistall Golf Club on South Mountain. We led the first day against Red Mountain. They came back the second day and beat us. And I know the kids were really disappointed because they felt they let them get away. And when we came back at the beginning of the next season, we sat down as a team once we picked our team and talked about what we wanted to accomplish that year. And it pretty much came down, the seniors said, Coach, 2 things. We want to be region champs, we want to be state champs. And they were pretty determined that that was going to happen. They really felt going into that season that they were the best team in the state. And so I said, well, let's go do that then. And it was a pretty special year. I think we had 1 blemish on the record that whole year. We played about 9 or 10 individual matches, 2 ways and 3 ways with other teams. And then we won all of those. We played 4 tournaments that year during the regular season. We won 3 of those tournaments. Then we went to the region tournament right down the road here at Viewpoint, and we won the region tournament, so we checked that box. And then we went over to Hillcrest for the state tournament that year. And we knew it was going to be a tough tournament. There were a lot of good teams, and but we prevailed by the same 3-stroke margin that we had lost to Red Mountain the year before. And so it was a great year. So the golf was great. The kids were wonderful. Their parents, the support from the parents was fabulous. And so, but I'll wrap this up. I want to say some thank yous to people. I want to say thank you to these guys and the other seniors that were on the team, their teammates. It was an honor and privilege that I got to be their coach. And they brought a lot of joy to my life, and they still do. Memories for a lifetime. And some of their parents are here tonight, and I want to say thank you to the parents from that year because the trust that they showed me to be responsible to take care of their kids while they were with me, that made my job so much easier. And then lastly, I would like to say thank you to my wife Penny, who's here with me tonight. Penny and I have been teammates for a little over 50 years now. And the job wouldn't have been, her love and support made the job so much easier. Because those of you who coach, you know, as much time as you spend away from your family while you're trying to raise a family of your own, when you have that kind of support, it just makes the job so much easier. And so, again, I just wanted to say thank you to all of us for inviting us tonight. It's a real honor for us. And then I would like to finish up by saying congratulations to everybody that's here tonight. The fact that you're here tonight means that you did something right and you did it well. Athletes, coaches, parents, You did something right, so congratulations to all of you, and thanks again for inviting us tonight. It's a real honor to be here.
How about another big hand for Coach McGowan and his team from 2003,
2004 state champions in golf. Coach Dobson and Red Mountain has put some players that are out on the tour. More to come. More to come. Okay. Y'all okay. For sure. All right. Our next honorees, if I could have Coach Robbie Robinson. Had the opportunity to meet Coach Robinson. He had a 30-year career in Minnesota and then finally saw the light and came out where it was warm and had another nearly 30-year career right here in Mesa. So if we could have the members, if there's any members of the 2003, 4, and 2004 Mountain View track team, could come up and be up here with Coach Robbie Robinson.
Thank you. This is a special honor, especially to work with young coaches like this. I'll let each individual introduce themselves and tell you what they coached and what event they were in.
Hi, my name is Bill Webster. I was the head girls track coach, but we coach everything together at Mountain View, boys and girls. So real quick, just a few things on the team before I shoot this down the road. We were undefeated in every dual meet that year. We won every big meet we went to that year. At the state meet, we scored 11 events out of the 17. We only had one individual state champion. That was Todd Rodenbaugh, was our pole vault state champion. He was 15 foot 3 inches in the vault. And then we also had a third place finish, and just acknowledge that, the 400 with Dan Galante. He still holds the school record at Mountain View for the 400 meters. So that was kind of special. But a special group, team group, top to bottom. We'll have the coaches introduce themselves that are here, but I see the ones that aren't here were Mike Hungerford worked with our throwers. Terrence Davis worked with our long and triple jumpers. Who else are we missing? Ian Esky helped Coach Robinson with the hurdlers. Coach Robinson worked with the hurdlers. I worked with the sprinters. And Terrence, long and triple. And Scott Thomas helped us with distances also. And then I'll let these gentlemen introduce themselves. I wanted to say also thank you to our athletic director, David Hines, and our principal, Craig Lukentich, and the support that they brought. And as I finish up here, I want to thank the Hall of Fame for bringing us in, and I'd also like to congratulate all the inductees tonight.
My name is Joe Sullivan. I was the high jump pole vault coach. Sorry, couldn't be here tonight. He's in Castle Ranch somewhere, but you know, Robbie gave me my start coaching, so I wouldn't miss this for the world. He's a legend. If you didn't know that, I don't know how many times he's been up here. A lot.
I think they still had his picture on the back there as well. So, Kyle Sawyer, I did the distances. It was kind of my last tour duty after being in Westwood and Dobson. And Mountain View was a nice job. Very appreciative of the Hall of Fame. Mesa does things right where the rest of the cities kind of let things just go aside and then it's too late to fix it. So very appreciative. I know SRP is still involved and Red Mountain putting this auditorium out here for everybody. So thank you very much.
Sandy Scalzon, I was on the distant events. I was one of those crazy guys that just ran around the track a million times. I just want to thank the coaches. Not only did they teach us to be great athletes, but they taught us to be great men. And a lot of the things we learned there helped us be successful in life.
I'm Rashawn Thompson. I was a sprinter, ran the 100 meters, 200 meters, and the relays, 4x100s, 4x400. staff, I still talk about all the times we had and the experiences that we shared. So thank you again, coaching staff, and thank you again.
Steve Selby, I ran all the distance events like Sandy. And again, I want to thank the tremendous coaching staff that we have here. They obviously were great coaches to us when we were young, but they've been mentors to me as I've developed into a coach here myself at Red Mountain High School. Every step of the way, anytime I had questions, they were here ready to answer and more than willing to answer and be helpful. So thanks to them, thanks to the City of Mesa, and thanks to the Hall of Fame for doing this.
Hey, if we could have you guys step up here a little closer, it'll be better for the picture. I tell you, just a quick history. I remember when Coach Sawyer started, well, actually, Coach Hines did his student teaching at Lehigh and at Lincoln Elementary. And Gigi
And I were talking about when we were students there. I was at Lehigh Elementary, and Dave Hines did his student teaching there. And then Mike Gray was the cross-country coach at Westwood when I went, and Coach Sawyer coached there with him. So it's amazing how the threads of the tapestry will run if you let them and watch them. Just amazing. And Robbie Robinson is a member as a coach of the Hall of Fame, and now has been inducted also with his teams. And so again, another big round of applause for Coach Robbie Robinson, ladies and gentlemen, and all the tremendous athletes and assistant coaches that have worked with him. Okay, we're going to move along a little bit differently now. We're going to have either a coach or a student that's going to introduce, and there'll be a small video for the inductees. And so this next one, he was a legend back when I was in high school. So he's amazing. He has coached. He has mentored many, many coaches, and he's being inducted as our coach. I'm going to turn it over to Bill McCain to introduce him. You want me to put that in there?
Thank you, Darren. It's my privilege to introduce one of the greatest coaches I have ever been associated with, coached against, or have known in this state and wherever I've coached throughout this country. Mike Clark, would you please come up, Coach? Mike, of course, as the head coach at Dobson High School, won a state championship there, and his teams were always competitive, just played inspired football. And it came from that man. He's not only a great coach for kids, but he's a coach's coach. He has coached more coaches than you can imagine. I'll turn the time over to Coach Clark. What's that? Oh.
Again, big hand. Come on up, Coach. Big hand for Coach Mike Clark.
I was born in Morristown, Tennessee. As a third grader, I played for Rose School. When I was in elementary school, my family moved to Phoenix, Arizona. In 7th and 8th grade, I had the opportunity to play in the first Pop Warner League in Arizona, which made me really happy. By 8th grade, I decided what I wanted to become was a football coach. We had to write a report, and my report was what it took to be a football coach. I played my high school football and ran track for North High School in Phoenix. Following high school, I played for Coach Shanny Hogan at Phoenix College. Coach Hogan taught me you have to earn everything. There's no free lunches. I played for Coach Mudra at Western Illinois University, and he had a way of bringing the best out of his players. They call him Magic Mudra. My dad's my hero. He was a very good football player in high school in East Tennessee and earned a football scholarship to Duke University. World War II was raging. After he graduated, he enlisted in the Army Air Corps, and flew P-51s to defend our country. He was a very humble person. He was a positive role model in every phase of life. He taught me to respect all people. My dad was my first coach. He taught me that the basic principles of football was teamwork. My mother taught me that there's two kinds of class, first class and no class, and you need to carry yourself in a first class manner when you deal with other people. I coached with Coach Larry Smith at Tulane University, and Coach Smith taught me about intensity and how to go hard. The most memorable moment in my coaching career was being hired at Dobson High School in Mesa, Arizona. Coaching at Dobson was a tremendous honor. I coached with an amazing group of men. They were like brothers to me. Our whole family revolved around Dobson High School. 3 of our 4 kids graduated from Dobson High School, were Mustangs through and through. My greatest achievement while coaching was watching the Mustangs win the 1987 state championship. It breaks me up to this day. I'd like to thank the Dobson parents and the community and the Mesa school system and my opponents. We had great opponents in Mesa that made us better and tough competitors. They set a high bar for us. None of this would have happened without the love and support of my wife, Kathy. We've been married 47 years. She supported me every step of the way. We've been blessed with a beautiful family. We love them and appreciate the blessing they are to us. My name is Mike Clark. I coached varsity football at Dobson High School in Mesa, Arizona. Go Mustangs!
Wow. Can you hear me? This working? All right. I just wanted to express how tremendously honored I am to be inducted into the Mesa City Sports Hall of Fame. What an amazing organization. Just tonight, it's like I saw so many great friends and people that I respect more than you'll ever know. I want to thank the Mesa public school system. That was a destination school district as a coach. You wanted to get to Mesa. If you made it to Mesa, you were great because your peer group were great opponents. They made your team better. If you could get into the playoffs out of Mesa, good things would happen. I'd like to thank the whole Comms and Salt River Project for making this possible, and also Mesa Schools. A good friend of mine named Jim Beal, and I'm walking around today, he's a good friend of a whole lot of you out there, used to say, life's a journey, okay? And that was just so right. And he'd add, keep your head on a swivel. In other words, through your life, you're going to have things, and you need to be prepared for sudden changes. But our journey to Mesa as a family was a great one. My family was raised here, and I have tremendous friends here. I've got tremendous friends that have passed on that I love very much. The coaches that I worked with at Dobson were like brothers. A few are here tonight, and I love them and I love their families. When we moved here, our children were very young or not even born yet, and their first experience with Dobson High School could have not been a better one. As soon as they were old enough to bounce a ball, Coach McConnell let them come to the City Rec basketball program he runs in the summer. And for every summer till they were grown up, they got to work with Coach McConnell and his staff. What a tremendous introduction to such a great high school. I want to thank the community of Dobson and the families that sacrificed so much for us to have the opportunity to work with our young men. Fantastic group of kids. The faculty and administration and staff at the high school were superb. Our children had a tremendous education. Our kids are all grown now, and they found wonderful spouses to marry and to contribute to our family. And we have every grandson and daughter here tonight, which I cannot tell you how special that is for a grandpa. And Kathy and I have been married 47 years, not quite as much as Dennis, but we'll catch him. And She was the most beautiful thing that ever happened in my life. She's been there through ups and downs, and I appreciate all that she's done and all that she means, just like all the coaches. But the grandkids now are our life. We love them very much. I think tomorrow is tennis and wrestling, and it's every day is what do we have today? And we love to support them, and we appreciate their efforts. And I appreciate to be standing here with an organization that's not embarrassed to say a prayer, that's not embarrassed to salute the flag, and to teach the principles that our country was founded on. And I always looked at a football field just like Coach McCain. That's our classroom on grass. And you cannot justify all the time and money that goes into football just to bump into people. So, and tremendous principles can be taught out there. You're going to go through experiences that you'll never get any other place, that you have to come to overcome. And I just want you to know that tonight is a mountain high experience for the Clark family. And I want to thank the Hall of Fame, my good friends, the coaches here, and especially the Dobson Mustangs for all that they've done. And thank you very much.
I tell you, it can't be said enough. That's all right, I'll take it. It can't be said enough about the coaches' wives. Because my mom was one, and I tell you, they are saints. They are saints. So again, another big hand for Coach Mike Clark.
Edgar, if you want to make your way up here. We lost one of the great coaches from Dobson this last year, Coach Lee Peterson. And you guys can applaud for Lee Peterson. He was an amazing, amazing man. Those of you that knew him and worked with him. All right, I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to have these students, who many are competing athletes currently at the high schools in which they are going to introduce the inductees that they're from. And so I'm going to turn it over to Edgar Anaya. Give Edgar a round of applause, huh? I hope you guys' hands hurt a little bit after tonight. Right into that.
Yep. Good evening. My name is Edgar Perez, and I'm a senior at Mesa High School. I've been with the boys soccer program for the past 3 seasons, and I'm currently one of the captains on the team. I'd like to introduce 2023 Mesa City Sports Hall of Fame inductee from the Mesa High class of 1994, Mr. Harold Calvo.
Some of the best memories for me was in high school was, you know, the ride in the buses with my teammates and going down to Yuma to go play, you know, Yuma High School and whatnot. You know, that made it very, very special. A lot different, like I said, from where I was coming from, but it added a different element to it and a different experience, a great experience. Coaches going back to Costa Rica, one of my best coaches down there, we used to call him Goñi. He was very passionate about the game, and he always talked about you can go as high as you can as long as you play with passion and love for the game. And that was kind of what did it for me and how I started playing. Coach Sandoval, without him, back in 1990, it's not like it is now. Soccer has grown so much. We didn't have a coach in high school, and he stepped up. He was a history teacher, and for us to be able to have a program, we needed a coach, and he stepped up in the program and was our coach. And I'll always be grateful for him for that, because I was able to play high school soccer because of it. We were known to have a winning program. But, early in the season, we came together, especially my senior year. we came together and we figured we're gonna go and change it. We're gonna change the mindset of other schools, and we did. And I remember playing, we had to go play at Dobson and beat Dobson in 2-1 in overtime, and that was a huge win, something like that has never happened. And then the next couple of days later, we had to go play in McClintock. And at that time, McClintock was one of the best programs there. And we beat them 2-0. And rankings came out on Friday, and we were ranked number 3 in the state. And, after those 2 huge wins. And for us, that was incredible because, again, we had never been ranked that high. And it was just, it was a special year. Growing up in Costa Rica, my grandfather was a huge mentor in my life. He was my best friend, my father and my grandfather. So, but we shared the same passion about the game, and that also, that added for me to be able to, play and fall in love with the game and the passion that I have as a player. I here in 1990. 33 years ago, and went to Mesa High, played at Mesa High, and graduated in class of '94, and then played 2 years at South Mountain Community College under Coach Miguel Crane, who I appreciate all that he did for me there. Then after that, I went to a small school in Kansas Wesleyan. Coach Brian Berner, offered me a scholarship to go and play there, and again, very grateful to Coach Brian Berner for the opportunity. And then I came home and played a couple years in the USL under the Arizona Saguaros. Had a good career there. My rookie year, I was runner-up, Rookie of the Year for the USL League. Finished top 10 goal scorer in the nation under the USL, and I made the All-Star first team for the USL. So. Unfortunately, has suffered a knee injury, and who ended my career. So I took on coaching. I've been coaching youth soccer for the last 15 years, and it feels good to pass on the knowledge and the passion of how I feel about the game down to the youth. So. My name is Harold Calvo. I play soccer at Mesa High. For all my Jackrabbits out there, carry.
Just want to, want to thank a few people, and first, also I want to thank the city of Mesa Sports Hall of Fame for this honor. I'm very humble. In 1990, I came to this country from Costa Rica, from a very small town called San Marcos de Tarazu, which has produced the best coffee in the world until today. So came here just wanted to play soccer and go to school. 33 years later, I'm being honored with the best athletes in the city of Mesa. I mean, can't write a script like that, right? So, I'm very humble and thankful to the city. Also, thank you, Coach TJ, for the nomination. I really appreciate you and what you do at Mesa High with those boys. It's unreal, man. So keep up the good work. You're one of those angels, man. You really are. So want to thank my grandparents, especially my grandfather, for being my motivation. They're no longer here with us, but he's always with me. He was the reason I learned to love the game of the soccer with so much passion, because we spent a lot of time together. He was my grandfather, my father, and also my best friend. Still miss him. So my mom, if we talk about Hall of Fames, she's a Hall of Fame to me. She's an amazing lady. And my dad, my mom Jadira Mora, and my dad Alberto Mora, who's not here right now. But my brothers, Fabian Calvo and George Calvo, and my daughters, my everyday that gets me going, Ariana, Julissa, Gabriela and Camila Calvo. I love you girls. My wife, Irma Hernandez Calvo, thank you for everything you do. Once I stopped playing soccer, I turned into coaching. I wanted to pass it on to our youth, and that's what I do now. I've been 15 years coaching, so you know, she knows about the long days. She knows about the days away, traveling with my teams. So she's definitely, you know, she's one of those coaches' wives, and she keeps the house and the family together. So I love you and thank you for everything you do for our girls. My family and friends that are here, thank you. And just to finish up, I want to thank the coaches. First, I want to thank Coach Sandoval. He was our high school coach. Back in the early 90s, it was hard to find high school coaches in soccer. So I remember we were going to have a program in Mesa High, and Coach Sandoval, being a history teacher, he stood up to the plate and said, you know what, I don't know none about soccer, but I'll just step up and be there just so you guys can have a program. And instead of just running the streets, you guys can go out here and play and compete for your high school. And he did that. And, you know, I'm always be grateful, because without him doing that, I wouldn't be standing here today. My community college coach at South Mountain Community College, Coach Miguel Crane, who's here today. Thank you so much for everything that you did for me those 2 years. You have no idea. You have no idea how much you meant, and you still mean to me, Coach. My Kansas Wesleyan University coach, Brian Berner, he did an amazing job with me out there. He gave me an opportunity to go out and finish up my education over there. And my coach, Mate Cosol, who was my first coach professionally, you know, thank him for the opportunity that he gave me. Last and not least is my teammates. You know, soccer is a team sport. And again, I wouldn't be standing here and talking about all these achievements without my teammates, and through all high school, college, and professionally. So thank you very much. And again, I'm very honored and very humble to receive this award today.
Good. Yeah, go stand out there. Now go out there. No? Is he in the picture? No. How about a big hand again for Harold Calvo, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Kinsey, if you'd come up. Please make welcome Kinsey Griffin.
Good evening. My name is Kenzie Griffin. I'm currently a senior on the Mountain View Toros High School swim team. It's my honor to present Alicia Miller-Lewis as the 2023 inductee into the Mesa City Sports Hall of Fame.
I was state runner-up my freshman year. I was state champion my sophomore year through senior year in either the 50 or the 100 freestyle. They kind of alternated. There's a lot of coaches I would thank, mainly Glenn Coy, my high school coach. Glenn Coy was there like through everything. He coached me when I was younger in club, and then it was cool that he got to be my high school coach. So he made a big impact on me in swimming. I'm like a firm believer in like, you don't do anything alone, right? My family was there. Early morning practices, like no one wants to get up at 5 a.m. to drop your kid off. At least we live in Arizona where it's not cold. My grandparents were always there to support me. I had aunts and uncles fly out to big swim meets. Like, my family definitely traveled and put in a lot of time. When I was competing, there was a lot of girls that were really fast, so it's not like I ever ran away with anything. They were like there to push me, so yeah. I could go on and on. The older I get, the more I realize how much of an impact it had just on staying dedicated to stuff. Things don't always go your way, and you just keep trying, that sort of thing. It's made a big impact in the person I am today, for sure, and just rolling with the punches and taking hits and getting back up and doing well again, I guess. My best sports memory, probably breaking the state record in the 50 freestyle my senior year. So the previous record was my home address, 2303, and that was my house number, and that was the record. So I really wanted to break the 23 mark, and I was 2296, I think. So broke the 23 mark, and yeah, that was for sure my best sports memory. It was super exciting. My whole family was there. It was awesome. Alicia Miller-Lewis. I competed in swimming. Go Toros.
Thank you. Thank you to the Sports Hall of Fame for putting this all on. I'm super honored to be in this group of athletes, and this year and in the years past. I have to thank my mom. She, like I said in the video, she took me to practices at 5 a.m. and she flew me to New York for a national championship meet and a lot of states in between. So thank you, Mom. My parents, Dan and Kelly, they were at almost all my meets. More than just the support was awesome, but they also instilled in me how to work hard and how to be excellent in everything that you do. My grandparents were also at all my meets. Thank you for being there. I think my grandma could win her own award for best grandma cheerleader. She cheered louder and stomped harder on the bleachers than any grandma you've seen. So thank you, Grandma and Grandpa. Like the video said, I had siblings and aunts and uncles who came out to the meets. That was really important to me, and I appreciated their support. As for coaches, Glenn Coy, he was my club coach when I was a younger swimmer, and also my coach at Mountain View. He really instilled in me a love for the sport, and I still love it today. So thank you for that. I had other club coaches and coaches along the way that helped me succeed, and I want to thank them. As for teammates and families, the Scott family, they taught me the importance of warming up and other things in the world of swimming. We often didn't get there for warm-up because it seemed excessive. So I'm lucky to have some friends and teammates who taught me that it's important to warm up and it's important to know your times and things like that we didn't know in the beginning. Thank you to the school and community and church leaders who were there to support me, who followed me along the way. And thank you to everyone who was here tonight. Thank you so much. I'm emotional.
Yeah. Hey, let's hear it for the moms, too, of these athletes. Especially swimmers. They were always up early. Again, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Alicia Miller-Lewis, Mountain View High School state champion swimming. Okay, I'm going to invite Peyton Wester to come up. Is Peyton here? Peyton, on their way. And Peyton's going to be introducing a Red Mountain athlete for football and wrestling, Mr. John Westra. So, Peyton, I'll let you introduce him.
Good evening. My name is Peyton Westra. I am currently a sophomore at Red Mountain, and I'm on the girls varsity basketball team, as well as the varsity softball program. It is my honor to present John Westra, my dad, as a 2023 inductee into the Mesa City Sports Hall of Fame.
At Red Mountain High School, I played football, wrestling, and track through the years of, I think, 95 to 97. We weren't the biggest winners back then. We were kind of a newer school, so we were kind of the ones kind of setting the tone, and I think one of our big accomplishments was we started the first winning season in Red Mountain history football that is on the consecutive streak to now. They had won a season or two in years past, but right now they've never had a losing season since then. I had won multiple region championships in wrestling and all region in football. And you know, we were just a newer school back then and kind of putting the culture in place because there was already schools in Mesa that were very strong on all the athletics, and we just kind of set the tone and kind of change the culture a little bit for a new school. We were the new guys on the block and we weren't quite built up like Mesa or Mountain View yet. Two big coaches. Nick Carantino's my wrestling coach. He'd already established a tone and a tradition of wrestling there, and just walking in and seeing how he had that culture in place, and as leaders we just took that on, and then I was able to bring that onto the football team. Jim Jones, my football coach, had already had success in years past at different schools, but he was a newer coach to Red Mountain then, and we're just that hard work, that discipline that carried over from the wrestling mat that Carantino's had given us, and was able to apply it with Coach Jones and the football team and get us going on the right track there. After I graduated from Red Mountain, went on to the University of Washington, got an opportunity to play football over there, was a 4-year letter winner. Some accomplishments, we were Rose Bowl champions in 2001. Drew Brees had an awesome career, but we beat him in the Rose Bowl, so I got 1 ring, he doesn't. And that was quite the accomplishment. Like I said, 4-year letter winner, graduated there, and just had a really good time up there in Seattle, and a lot of good people I was able to work with and know at this point. My parents, number one, they supported me through everything. They were there for everything. Heck, they even watched a couple-second wrestling match in Yuma. They drove a couple hours down there just to watch me do that and be done. They went to track meets. They were there for everything. All my coaches, there's so many to name, I couldn't even begin to name them all, but just all the support throughout the years, and then just Mesa in general, good area, good people, just a good area to be in. It's just a good community, and it was a good thing to be a part of, and like I said, my coaches, my parents, heck, even my sister, she answered all my recruiting calls. Once I was kind of done with the recruiting journey and didn't want to answer calls anymore, she was able to take on some of those calls and just tell them I was studying or I was at a basketball game, and really I was just kind of done. John Westra, class of 97. Go Lions.
My turn? All right. Cool. Thank you, Hall of Fame, for doing everything you guys did. This is awesome. This is super cool turnout. Way bigger than I even knew what it was. Second, thank you, my wife, Haley. Deals with me every day. True Hall of Famer. She's given me my 2 daughters. Obviously, Peyton. I'll be up here in a couple years putting her in. Other daughter, Taylor. She's a first-year Pharm D student at the University of Arizona. So getting that done there. Hall of Fame title's cool, but the best title I have is Dad. Wouldn't be here without a bunch of coaches, bunch of teachers, Mesa Public Schools. Some are here today, but there's tons that helped raise this meathead in Mesa, so thank you. And let's see. So proud of being part of Mesa, so honored to be in this Hall of Fame. Decided to raise my kids here and my family here, so that's what I think of Mesa. My true thank you and true Hall of Famers are my mom and dad. Without them, I didn't do any of this stuff. Big meathead had to point me in the right direction all the time, so appreciate you, Mike and Jackie. Love you guys. Thank you so much. I can't believe I didn't totally cry, and I'm done. Thank you.
We've got, ladies and gentlemen, John Westra, Red Mountain High, 1997. 3-sport, tremendous athlete. Do we have him in budget? All right, I would like to invite to the stage Coach McConnell. Another Dobson legend, ladies and gentlemen, Mesa staple. I think we can do better than that for Coach Mickey McConnell. Or Coach McConnell.
Thank you. I'm Rick McConnell, and on behalf of my wife Pam, who chickened out on coming up here, on the way back from our game tonight, I was informed that I had the honor of coming up and accepting this for Mick. So he would like to say, I talked to him just a minute ago, he is, they're working and he wasn't able to get away, but he wants to thank all of you guys in the Sports Hall of Fame, the city of Mesa, the Mesa School District. It's been a fabulous thing. As Coach Clark said, our kids grew up in this school district, and it's been wonderful. My wife and I have been in the district forever, and there's so many things other than the highlight films and all that you get out of this. So for the privilege of being selected to something this fantastic, it's amazing. So I've always been proud of Mesa and the way they've done things, and moving up here years ago. I just always tell all my friends in Tucson, they just are amazed at how we do things up here. But thank you very much. It's just a great honor to just come in here and watching all of you. So thank you very much on behalf of our family, and thanks to everybody that's been involved. Thank you.
All right. Just step into the middle. Good man. We're moving to Connell, being recognized for his accomplishments in basketball and baseball. Junior, you want to come up? Our next student athlete to introduce the inductee into the Hall of Fame is Junior St. Cyr. He's going to be introducing Gerald Green.
Good evening. My name is Junior St. Cyr, and I'm currently a member of the Mesa High School football team. It is my honor to present Gerald Green as a 2023 inductee into the Mesa City Sports Hall of Fame.
My high school career, I played football and I also ran track in 1994, graduated in 95. Junior high went from 7th grade to 9th grade, and high school started at 10th grade. and finished out my season, and I got asked to move up to varsity. And when I was playing, only had a two-day practice with those guys, and started on a Wednesday. The game was on Friday, so I remember them picking me up on that Wednesday to come up to practice, and they fitted me for all my equipment and everything. And I get there, only watched half the practice, didn't get a chance to practice. So then the next day I come up, it was a Thursday, didn't practice with them at all. Come game day, Friday, I'm putting on my uniform thinking to myself, I never gotten a chance to practice with these guys, so I must not be playing. And all of a sudden we get in the game, kickoff, first plays ran, hey Gerald, you're in. And I'm thinking to myself, I hadn't even practiced, and here I am going out on this field. And I get out there, we come out in the huddle, and I look over, and Al Sterling tells me, hey Gerald, you're lining up on the right, and you're getting the ball going left. And that was pretty much the whole game. He just tell me where I line up, you're getting the ball, you're going that way. And I ended up rushing for 149 yards that game. I had a bunch of coaches that played a major factor in my life during the time. Coach Serqua, Coach Telef, Coach Marshall, a bunch of people. I think the biggest person though was my aunt, who would always tell me, you know, I want you to go to school, I want you to be a successful young man. So she was kind of my I guess, my motivation. She played that impact for me. She always had this drive for me to go to school and be the first one in my family to graduate from high school, and go to college, get married, have kids, and be a successful young man. After high school, I went to ASU, and I played a couple years there at ASU after I graduated from Mesa Community College. I was able to go there, and I played, and I was pretty successful there. Had a great experience there, and after that, I was done. I ended up becoming a Phoenix firefighter. So, and that's what I'm currently doing today. Sports did a number of things for me. It taught me just a camaraderie, just a hard work, team building, and being able to adapt to changes and being able to work under pressure. It was huge, played a major impact in my life, and it's carried me on to, again, like I said, where I am today, being a successful young man and being married to my beautiful wife, Sharice, who's also a nurse. We have 3 kids, Hallie, Jaden, and Demi. My son, Jaden, is playing football at the University of Washington. So it's been able to teach me so that I can coach him through and help him to be successful, and as he's going through his career at a collegiate level. And Coach Serqua, Coach Telef, those coaches were huge. Coach Kenny Marshall, who's also my dad. I also like to thank, Red Mountain High School for giving me the opportunity to start my career as a freshman at a varsity level, and giving me that confidence that I can play at that level. Also, I'd like to thank Coach Bill McCain, Coach Gary Butler, Kenny Watland, and Coach Hunt. All those guys played a huge part in my life when I was at Mesa High School, by teaching me, the values of being a successful young man. Gerald Green, I played football and ran track at the best high school in Mesa, Mesa High School. Carry on, go Jackrabbits. Man, what did you say, Coach? What did you say? Oh, he said, don't make it 30 minutes. Don't worry, it's about to be 29 minutes. So I hope you guys brought your pillows and your blankets. That was a great video. Tim really did a good job with it. First, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to the Mesa Sports Hall of Fame for this honor. I'm truly blessed. Thank you for your votes. I really appreciate it. First, I want to start off by, saying, who would have ever known? I wonder if that 8-year-old little turkey, who's been brought up in a very humbling upbringing, having no place to stay, and or having no place to sleep, having to sleep in parks, not able to eat, having to beg at Jack in the Box just to get 2 tacos, which were his only meal of the day. I wonder if he knew that he would be standing here at this podium today. I wonder. And if he did, how those things would have changed. I'm truly honored to be here tonight. I can honestly say I wouldn't have been able to do this without the help from the man upstairs. He has guided my path. He has led me in a positive direction, and he has given me the glory, and I give him all this glory. I would also like to thank Sunshine Acres Children's Home for bringing in a 12-year-old lost little boy who had no sense of direction, no sense of knowing how to read or write. I want to thank you for teaching me the life and social skills that I needed at the time, and thank you for being patient with me when you were actually teaching me how to read and write, encouraging me when I put on my first uniform, and that very first day when I came out in my football pads for my very first practice, literally I had everything on backwards. My shoulder pads were on backwards. My thigh pads were protecting my hamstrings. And I can remember to this day I had no knee pads. And my tailbone pad, use your imagination, everything was on backwards. Next, I would like to thank Shepherd Junior High, Red Mountain High School, as well as Mesa High School for giving me that platform to showcase the football skills that I had. I had so many epic moments throughout my football career, and to be honest with you, at times I was surprised of the things that I had done. The runs that I had made, it was almost like an out-of-body experience. And I was on the sideline cheering for Gerald Green, almost like my mother-in-law, who's the biggest cheerer ever. Go get him, get him. Oh, man. I also like to thank all of my coaches, again, just like I said up there, Coach Circle, Coach Telef, Coach Marshall, Coach McCain, Coach Butler, Coach Watland, and Coach Klaus. And all the other coaches that coached me throughout my football career. Thank you for teaching me the fundamental values of discipline, hard work, and being a team player. These values have carried me a long way in life. To all my teammates, I want to thank you for all the blood, sweat, tears, the grind of winning and losing games together, but still having a positive attitude and having a lot of fun. I thank you all. The most important thank you. This one's kind of hard, and I'm glad I can't really see him right now because, man, I'd be like a 2-year-old right now that just lost his toy. I'll lose it. The most important thank you goes to my parents, Ken and Kim Marshall. Thank you for bringing in a full-blown teenager, treating him as if he was your own son. Thank you for believing in me and in the goals that I wanted to achieve and that I had set for myself. So a quick little story here about those two. Yeah, I gotta put you on blast right now. When they first brought me into their home, they had their first baby girl. Her name was McKenna Marshall. We would have contests on who could change the poopiest diapers the fastest. I was always the winner of that competition. And after looking back on it, I see why I was always the winner of that competition. The two of them had tricked me. They let me win that contest on purpose. But for me, it taught me a valuable lesson. And that was, no matter how crappy a situation can be, if you have a determination to be the best and a will to work hard and stay positive, you'll always be a winner. Lastly, my little sisters, McKenna and Kristen, I thank you for giving me the drive, the inspiration, the motivation to not only being the best big brother, but also the best role model I could be to not just you guys, myself, but also others as well out there. And again, like I said before, to the Mesa Sports Hall of Fame Committee, thank you for your votes. I appreciate you, and thank you, thank you, thank you.
One more time for Gerald Green, being honored for football and track. And it sounds like if we have the diaper changing Olympics, he might be back. All right, Gerald. Okay, next up, if I could have Luke McAnally come join me on stage, and Eddie Manchaca.
Good evening. My name is Luke McAnally, and I am currently a member of the Westwood High School baseball team. It is my honor to present Eddie Menchaca as a 2023 inductee into the Mesa City Sports Hall of Fame.
So I was a transfer out of El Paso, Texas in 8th grade, I'm gonna say 96. So I went to Carson Junior High when I first came here. Started playing baseball. I remember my junior high coach was Coach Rhodes. He was there for a long time. And then that led to, going to Westwood, where I got introduced to Ross Pago, who was the head coach there at Westwood High School. And we ended up beating Gilbert High School. It was Gilbert High School in the playoff, and they were ranked, they were good. I just remember hitting a triple. First pitch of the game, hit a triple. But just what happened, after that, like it's supposed to be fun. For me, it was already like a job. And that's how it happened, I just always played baseball since I was little. My father was a coach. Having a huge family, 14, the youngest. Baseball is like 24/7. I lost my mom when I was a junior. I was about to be a junior in high school. It was tough. Brother-in-law and my sister took me on. I remember the scout Louis Medina saw me playing a tournament down in Mexico in San Luis, and he brought me over. My family came down to see me pitch because I was going to sign as a freshman. The Seattle Mariners at the time, they had offered me a contract. Before I ended up signing, I got hurt. I hurt my arm. The last game in a playoff game, family watching, I ended up hurting my elbow. I rehabbed all summer after the season was over. Went back my sophomore year in Seattle again, came back and ended up signing as a free agent shortstop. After that, then I just played for 7 years, and then that led into my coaching career in the minor leagues. Hey, I'm Eddie Menchaca from Westwood High School. I played baseball, once a Warrior, always a Warrior. I'll try to keep this short, try not to cry. Ross Pago, where you at? We got to keep it together, man. I'm going to really try to hold this. First of all, I want to thank the committee for having me out here. Sorry, first, God, for putting me here alive, giving me the ability to play the game and to teach. The committee, thank you. Coach J.R. Langston for making this possible. Westwood Warrior. I want to thank my family for being here, supporting me all the way from El Paso, Texas. Thank you so much. I also want to thank my friends, the kids that are here today. As we move forward in our lives, the older we get, you try to pass on the knowledge, and I could tell you that I think we're doing that. Coach Marine, where you're at, giving back to the community, been doing it for a long time. So I want to thank the parents and the kids for being here, and they're wearing the Lumber Kings jerseys.
So thank you guys and the families for being out here. Just a lot of people, but like I said, I want to keep this short and crispy. So, yeah, coming out of El Paso, Texas, out of 14, big family, the youngest. Everybody played baseball, including my sisters. And that's all we did. It was a border town. Every weekend, going across town, across the country, and playing baseball. My dad was a coach, did it for 42 years, 43 years, or something like that. So baseball was like our way of life. So growing up, that's all I knew. We just had my family here. We had a get together the other night, and one of my brothers was making fun of me because he's like, you know, the little dog would come over and they'd be like, hey, you want to play baseball? A buddy came over, hey, you want to play baseball? Neighbor came over, hey, you want to play baseball? It's like, I guess that's all I ever did. But that's what I really wanted to do. I want to thank my sister and my brother-in-law, my niece, my nephew. They gave me an opportunity to come into their household, my sister and my brother-in-law. Took me in and made me one of theirs. And without them, I wouldn't be here. So I want to thank them. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for putting up with me. I know it's not easy trying to raise your own family, but I think that without them, I wouldn't be here, so thank you so much. My niece Erica for helping me out with my homework. Thank you, Erica. The journey wasn't easy for me. I lost my mom at a young age, transferred from El Paso, Texas, where I was being seen by a professional scout, which back home in El Paso, I didn't know what that was. Later, when I moved here, it just meant that you're a pretty good ball player. I was pretty naive at understanding or pretty much knowing the ability that I had. I just knew that I wanted to play, but I didn't know that I was good enough. I ended up transferring, came down here to Carson Junior High. Coach Rhodes was my junior high coach. Back in El Paso, your freshman year, it's considered high school at the time. Carson was still a junior high, so you had to go to junior high, to Carson Junior High, and I was thinking, okay, you know, I come from Texas. So I was a little confused on that, but ended up adapting, and then things just kind of went from there. I ended up going to Westwood High School, and that's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Here comes Ross. This man was a big influence. He was like a father figure. You know, he was a father figure for not only me, but for a lot of our players. And a lot of our success came from him, from his dad, Pops, and from Larry Ross, who's in heaven now. Just the consistency of work ethic, accountability, the structure, and just the support, the emotional support from being a young athlete, being a student, trying to figure out what was right, what was wrong. He like I said, he was a special human being in my life, and still is to this day. He made me change my way of thinking, especially when I lost my mom my junior year in high school. You know, I'm here in Arizona. My dad's back in El Paso. My mom just passed away, and I'm trying to figure out life, you know, what's going to happen next. And he went out of his way to make sure that life continues, and what do you want to make out of it? So Ross, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank my buddies, Hondo and Mario. I don't think Mario made it today, but my brother from another mother, Hondo and his family, Lisa and Alex. Thank you for taking me in. Especially, like I said, being a young kid trying to figure out life, and taking me into your family as well, feeding me. Just making me feel part of your family. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. As I graduated high school, like I said, not knowing exactly what life had in front of me as a baseball player, I think that I pretty much grew up pretty quick at a young age. Having a big family, having a bunch of brothers that always played, which I'm super grateful. I learned from every single one of them, my sisters, and still to this day I do. Being the youngest, you know, it's pretty crazy what you see, having a big family, all from the same mom and dad, all of them, right? So you pick and choose, and you take what you want from them. And I want to thank them also for always being so supportive and showing me the way. My teammates at Westwood High School, class of '99, man, what a journey that was. Really good team. I think one of the coaches said the chemistry was amazing, not only on the field but off. Went through some battles, but I think at the end of the day, it made us better human beings, better men. Lost in the semis on a tough one. I think you remember that one, Ross. But I could tell you that still to this day, when we do talk, it's one of those that you'll never forget, and I try to embrace that and try to teach my kids and tell my kids how important it is to have good friends and have good people next to you. I went on to play at South Mountain Community College for 2 years. My freshman year, like I said in the video, I had a draft and follow, got drafted out of high school in the 36th round. Again, kid from El Paso, not knowing what a scout was. Again, didn't believe in my abilities. Ended up not signing, went back to South Mount as well with George Lopez. And became a better ball player. I decided not to pitch anymore, just play shortstop. And Seattle Mariners offered me a contract after my sophomore year. Ended up playing 7 years, minor league baseball, AAA, never made it to the big leagues, but played with a lot of big league players. After 7 years of minor league baseball playing, offered me a coaching job, which again, a kid out of El Paso, playing in the backyard, hitting rocks into factories, just visualizing, you know, maybe one day. Here I was playing with top-notch players, Hall of Famers, and coaching them, including one of our own, Keto Marte, who is obviously known here with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Had a pleasure to manage him for 2 years. Good friend. Never would have thought. Ended up pursuing that, and like some of the guys up here that are talking about their careers and what they do now, it's just giving back, you know. Giving back to me is really important because that's all my father ever did. And I want to make sure I close with that. My father was, including my mom, raising 14 kids, never worked in her life. That just tells you what type of woman she was. My father engraved baseball in all of us, but also taught us how to grow up to be tough, how to grow and believe in your dreams, and to never put your head down no matter what. I try to live that way now. It's not easy. I got kids of my own with a beautiful wife, Jasmine, who's been supporting me, and I told her I was going to leave professional baseball, which I did, and I was done. But the itch came back, and now I'm a hitting coach and infield coach at Scottsdale Community College, so I just can't get away from it, but she supports me, so I thank you for that. Lastly, my kids, and all the kids that are here, I just want to make sure that you guys understand the importance of following your dreams and why I'm so hard with you guys. Never thought I would be here standing in front of you guys and talking about how things could have been if I didn't make the right decisions. I think I had great support. I had great people telling me, make the right decision, Eddie, go with your heart. And I think I did. To my kids, hopefully you guys are proud of me today. Hope I'm a good role model. And I hope that one day I could be sitting in those seats, hearing your speech. Thank you so much.
Again, big hand for Eddie Menchaca, Westwood Baseball. Might have to do a War Eagle later. All right. Moving on, I'm going to invite Nathan Rodarte, and Nathan's going to introduce one of the great coaches and a Mesa legend, Larry Klaus.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Rodarte, and I am currently a member of the Mesa High School football and track team. It is my honor to present Larry Klaus as a 2023 inductee into the Mesa City Sports Hall of Fame.
I participated in football, wrestling, and track at Mesa High School. I coached at Mesa Junior High, then I transferred to Poston Junior High, and then I finished my last 10 years at Mesa High. I began my career in education in 1944 when I attended kindergarten and first grade at Lincoln School. Second grade was at Webster School. Third, fourth, and fifth grades were at Irving School. Then it was sixth and seventh grades at Franklin. The new Mesa Junior High was my next stop for eighth and ninth grade. That was when I fell in love with pole vaulting. I vaulted 9 feet 6 inches that year. Then it was on to Mesa High to be a jackrabbit. My sophomore year, I pole vaulted 11 feet 6 inches and 12 feet 6 inches my junior year. My senior year, I had cleared 13 feet. And with the Arizona State Relays track meet coming up, it was predicted that I had a chance to win the pole vault event. Predictions held true. And on Saturday night, April 13th, 1957, I did win the event with a vault of 13 feet 6 1/4 inches using a steel pole. That set a new Mesa High School pole vault record and was the second highest high school pole vault in the nation in 1957. I varsity lettered on 1 year in football, 1 year in wrestling, and 3 years in track. I entered Arizona State College in 1957 and graduated from ASU in 1963 with a degree in education. During my student teaching at Mesa High, I had the privilege of helping coach a very talented pole vaulter, Danny Boyle. Danny broke my high school record and has been inducted into this Hall of Fame. In 1965, I was hired to teach physical education at Mesa Junior High and also coached cross country and track. 2 years later, I took over as head football coach, and that started a very rewarding and successful football coaching career. In 1974, I transferred to the new Poston Junior High School. We had a lot of fun coaching football at Poston, and we were winning a lot of games. At one stretch, we had 42 consecutive wins, 4 consecutive undefeated seasons, and 14 consecutive shutouts. In 1979, we achieved the first unscored on season in Arizona. My assistant coach, Jim Christensen, was the architect of our defense. My final 10 years in football was coaching junior varsity at Mesa High. In a 26-year football coaching career at 3 schools, we achieved 6 undefeated seasons, 160 wins, only 60 losses, 4 ties, and a winning percentage of .723. Now, during my retirement years, I'm trying to stay healthy by riding a bicycle. At age 74, I rode solo from Canada to Mexico. And at age 76, I also rode solo from the Atlantic coast to San Francisco. I finally retired in 2020 at age 81 and 52 years in education. Last April, our Mesa High School class of 1957 held our 66th class reunion. And now, Mesa High alumni, as we continue to age, let us also continue to remember our school anthem, Carry On, performed now by 12 of the 39 Larry Klaus family graduates or current students of Mesa High.
Thank you very much. I feel very honored to be standing up here in front of you tonight, but I want to tell you how I got my first interest in football. My older brother Dale was my hero when I was younger. He was 4 or 5 years older than me. He came home with a football one day, and he says, "Larry, let's go out in the street and we'll kick the ball back and forth to each other." Boy, that was going to be fun, I thought. Got out there in the street. Of course, the street wasn't paved back then. That was years ago, back in the 50s, maybe even late 40s. But we went out there and kicking that ball back and forth, and it was not very much fun for me. It was actually kind of boring. And then our next door neighbor came out and he says, "Hey, you need to put some air in that ball." And so he says, "I've got a pump." He says, "Give me the ball." So he took it and went in and he pumped it up and he brought it back out. We started kicking it back and forth again. Boy, what a difference. Man, we could make that ball sail now. I'm so, looking back when I was pole vaulting, one thing that I miss now with these pits, with had all this soft sponge rubber in them, you know, to catch the pole vaulters and the high jumpers. Back then, our second semester started about the middle of January, and that's when track season started. So that first 2 weeks of January, the district was putting in sawdust pits. They put a bale of straw around the landing area for the pole vault and the high jump, and then they'd fill it up with sawdust and wood chippings. And that sawdust smelled so good. I would run home for lunch every day because I only lived about a half mile from the school. And then I'd run back and go by the football stadium where the track was and smell that sawdust. I couldn't wait to get out there and start digging it up so it'd be a soft landing area for me. There's some people I really want to thank for their contributions to my success. I'll find the right note here pretty quick. In my coaching career, I had some great assistant coaches helping me coach. When I was at Mesa Junior, the late Ron Hunt and I spent, I think it was 9 years together, just the two of us coaching freshman football at Mesa Junior. Then when I transferred to Poston Junior High, my assistant coach was a big ASU football star, Gerald Slimmer. Gerald Slimmer went back east and got his doctorate degree and became a principal at his old high school. And then he came out here after he retired, and he was the principal for 10 years here at Red Mountain High School. Then Jim Christensen was my assistant coach, and he had had varsity experience. We had a great time together there at Poston. Then when he became an administrator over in the Tempe School District, I had Steve Marks until I started coaching at Mesa High. At Mesa High, I had some great people that I was associated with, and I learned from all these people too. They were a great help to me in my success. That was Ross Pagel and Roger Suckamel, Rich Halsey, John Cesati, Doug Larish. I also had the great privilege of working under some very successful varsity coaches. When I was at Mesa Junior, it was Reed Peterson. So many of you know him and remember him. And when I transferred to Poston, I was under the legendary Jesse Parker. And we all know the success that he had, and I learned so much from him. Then when I went to Mesa High and was coaching JV football there, it was under Jim Rattay and your Honorable Bill McCain, too. He was the varsity coach there for a few years. My greatest memory now is meeting the young people that I have coached in the past. All those athletes for the 26 years that I was coaching football. I also coached basketball and girls soccer and track and field. It's a great experience to have them come up and say, "Hey, Coach Klaus," I look at them, I don't recognize them. Because I had them when they were 14 years old, a freshman. Some of them were just barely starting into puberty, and you know how we change over the years as we get older. They grow beards and they grow long hair, and you don't recognize them very well. And I really enjoy seeing them. It was great this evening, too. Then I want to give great thanks to my family. Great support that they've been to, and the great support that they're giving me here tonight. Would my family please stand up over there, please? Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate their being here tonight. So I want to thank this committee that that voted to select me to be here because of my pole vaulting experience at Mesa High. It was great to have that designation as the number 2 ranked pole vaulter in the nation that year. That year, the top 3 pole vaulters in the nation were from the Valley of the Sun here. And so that was kind of the pole vaulting capital of the high school world in 1957. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate those of you that have stayed here. And let's get on with the festivities.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, he hasn't changed hardly a bit. How about another big hand for the legend, the coach, and a tremendous athlete, Larry Klaus. We want to remind all inductees that we want you to stick around for a photo. So hopefully you haven't left yet, but we want all the inductees to stick around. We've got 2 more to honor. Jackson, if you'll join me up here. His accomplishments and accolades of this next athlete are tremendous. He's a personal friend, and I think he's just an all-around great individual. I'll turn it over to Jackson Ray to introduce Mr. Reggie, the King, Haywood.
Good evening. My name is Jackson Ray, and I'm currently a member of the Mesa High School track team. It is my honor to present Reggie Haywood as a 2023 inductee into the Mesa City Sports Hall of Fame.
One I was most known for was the marathon, and I started running at the age of 6, just down at the track. My dad was a high school track coach in Las Vegas, and from that point, they discovered me as high school track runners discovered that I could run a 10-miler with them and be with the top guys. So they put me in the marathon in 1973 when I was just turned 10, and I ran 3:25, won the high school division, and they didn't know what to do with me, so they gave me the youngest finisher trophy. 6 months later, I was still 10. They put me in the Fiesta Bowl marathon, a much faster marathon, elevation-wise and terrain-wise. And I took a half hour off the time, running 2 hours and 57 minutes and 12 seconds. That is, I believe, still today the 10-year-old world record for 10-year-olds. Runner's World was interested, and they came out and did an article on me and my father, as well as Runner's World. And then from there, I did age group marathons all the way through until I reached my junior high year. And then I stopped focusing on that and ran cross country and was coached at Mesa Junior High School by Roy Shumway. Roy Shumway was my only coach other than my father. And I was very, very moved by Roy. He was very inspirational. He used to run with us, and he could beat most of us at the beginning of the year. And he trained all of us, but 5 of us won the city, and he couldn't beat us at the end of the year. And that was interesting. So Roy Shumway had great influence in my life. I went on to high school to run in high school, still setting the marathon aside. My best events were probably the mile and 2 mile. I ran a 4:17 mile, which in some years would win state, but my year in state took 5th. I won the division in the 2 mile and went on to state in that and took 3rd at state in the 2 mile. And from there, I graduated, did not go to college, started a business and have been a business owner here in Mesa, but I ended up coming back to running through the sport of triathlon and ran a couple of Ironman triathlons. One of which I missed the World Championships on my first one because I'm such a poor swimmer. So, and by about 1 minute, if I'd have went a minute faster, I'd have went to the World Championship. I had no goal of that type, but from there I've just been a kind of weekend warrior. I love athletics, what it has taught me, and athletics has been probably the best practice field in life that you can possibly imagine. We all know life is hard, and athletics has really helped me get through and helped me quite a bit. Reggie Haywood, class of 1981, carry on Mesa High.
Thanks, Jackson. Jackson's running a 5:12, I think it is 5:12 miles, is that right? So I talked to him about windows of pain. You athletes know that. So if he wants to break 5, he's going to have to go through another window of pain and have pain be a familiar friend to him. I am so grateful to be here tonight. It's an unusual induction, you guys. Are you looking at this? I'm being inducted for elementary school achievements. I don't know that Jeannie, Coach, has there ever been any, somebody get inducted for 10, 11, and 12-year-old achievements? I had some high school achievements, but I was a perfect storm, I was hyperactive. I was driving my teachers crazy. They didn't know what to do with me. They called my dad, who was a teacher in the district. And they tried to pretend like it was some other kid. Coach, we've got this kid that is really disrupting the class. He's always trying to be funny. And my dad says, is it Reggie? And they'd go, yes, they'd confess. He said, let Reggie run on the playground a little longer. When everyone comes in, he'll do that, and he'll love the attention. And so that kind of mellowed me out a little bit. I don't think they had Ritalin back then, or else they'd have just shot me up with it and said, kid, you're driving us all nuts. But interesting thing is that all of us tonight, Mike Clark, Mike, you don't know that I know you. Everyone knew Mike Clark, Gerald, I saw Gerald in the thing, and I said, Gerald, I'm a huge fan of yours. And I remember his year at Mesa High School, and I used to bring my grandson. I said, watch when this guy touches the ball. Watch what happens. He ran with so much heart. He carried that ball with so much heart. And to see Gerald tonight express his love for his parents that took him in and raised him was very touching. I met Alicia tonight. I know her mom and dad, Kelly and Dan. And I could have used Alicia's help in my Ironman triathlons because I was really a poor swimmer. I was a rock in the water, but it's just neat. Dennis McGowan, I know Dennis. Dennis was a neighbor. And those that I don't know, I got to meet very many. Tate, you haven't been up here yet, so I don't want to take too much time, but Tate, I know who you are. I watched you play. And this is a community. Mesa is a community. We admire each other, we love each other, we support each other. The common thread through all of this is that nobody does this alone, nobody. And I'm just very, very grateful. Yes, I'll single out a couple of people. My father was the most innovative and amazing distance coach that I know. His high altitude training centers, his pacing device, his morals, and Mike had brought up God tonight, and I'm so grateful for my Father in heaven. That is the greatest identity that I have, is to be one of his sons. I do want to also say there's so much been said about mothers tonight, and I want to expand that to just the influence of women in my life. My sister's here, Memory, and she's been a gigantic influence. My mother has been a gigantic influence in my life. Alicia, I loved your tears regarding your mother. You kind of introduced emotion in tonight, and Big John that followed you, he had a good excuse to cry because you cried first. And I just wanted to thank all the women in my life. So I have had two mothers. My mom and dad got divorced when I was somewhere around the age of 14. It was a very difficult time for me. I have another mother that's here tonight, and I'd like her to stand up. This is my stepmother, Julie. And my other mom's looking down, and those two have really bonded. My mom is gone, but Julie is here. And my dad used to get me up, like, get up, But my mother, my biological mother, would come in and rub my back. And I would wake up to this, oh. And she's, honey, it's time to get up. It's time to go running. And we had a paper route, family paper route. So we had 350 Arizona Republic papers. And that's how she waited. And then my stepmother, Julie, after my mom and dad were divorced and my dad remarried her, she really transformed my father in ways I think my mom would have stayed with my dad if she could have done whatever Julie did. But Mama J is what we call her, and I love her so much. But she made this cute poster board before my divisional meet, and she had been listening to my dad and I and all of the different tactics that we had to win the 3,000 meter. And she wrote them on, do you remember that, Mom? She wrote those on a poster. I'll never ever forget that poster. And it played, and that was a big day for us as we did win the division on that. You know, the biggest influence in my life has been my wife. Lisa, I want you to stand up. She's gentle and kind and graceful. And dadgummit, she's always right. And I like to be right. But she's right a lot. And I've learned so much from her, followed her. I said in the video, I'm a weekend warrior now. I have a church leader here that went through my years. Don Evans, he and I did a lot of cycling together. And I moved away from competition, but kind of went back to it in the form of the Ironman. Darren's on the stage tonight. His father, Roy, was my only coach other than my father. And I was at Roy's funeral. It was packed full of young men that had been changed, and their lives had been touched by Roy. I just wanted to have you kids that are here today that are maybe 6 years old. I said in the video that I started at the age of 6. What happened was my dad and my mom organized the neighborhood Olympics. And everyone from all over the neighborhood signed up. And the events were so cute. They were the down the street dash instead of the 100-yard dash. Down the street dash, and then there was the around the block run. And then there was the trash can hurdles. So we had neighborhood trash cans. This is back in the days where they had the steel ones. They were a little lower and you could jump over them. Still very dangerous, by the way. But, and then, can you imagine, you could get a pack of bubble yum back then for a nickel. So the gold medal was a quarter, the silver medal was a dime, and the bronze was a nickel. And it was an amazing thing, and I just wanted a nickel so I could get a pack of bubble yum. But I was 6 and I was losing and everything. And then they did the neighborhood marathon, which, you know, was not 26 miles, but it was a 3 or 4 mile run. And I won that. And I got a quarter so I could get 5 packs of bubble yum. So big impact in my life at that time. But this is the kind of thing that makes its coaches, its parents, and its community that make individuals that stand up here and say this. Life is hard, very, very difficult. We all have challenges. I continue to have challenges. I want to leave a poem for you young ones with you. And it's called Challenge. Blessed is the one indeed who in this life will find a challenge that will fill her days, a goal to fill his mind. This world is filled with little ones, content with where they are, not knowing what success can mean, not wishing to work that hard. But in this world, there is a need for those to meet the test, to rise above the norms of life by giving of their best. Would you be one who dares to rise when challenged by a task? To win a world you have not seen, is that too much to ask? Commit yourself, go all the way, and know your reasons why. Yes, know who it is you really are, and never cease to try. You will be proud of what you've done when at the close of day, when you kneel down to talk to God, content you came this way. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reggie, the King Haywood. Thank you, Reggie. I remember when I was a young married that I was, one of my jobs is I would umpire, and Coach Beckert over at Keno Junior High had us come umpire the baseball games there. And this young man was one of the most incredible young men that I'd ever met. And to this day, I have talked about him to people. And I'm going to invite Jack Germain up to introduce Tate Gunning.
My name is Jack Germain, and I'm a senior at Mountain View High School. I recently completed my senior season as a quarterback at Mountain View, and I'm humbled with the opportunity tonight to say a few words about arguably the best quarterback to ever come out of Mountain View, Tate Gunning. It is a great honor for Tate to be inducted into the Mesa Sports Hall of Fame with all the many great athletes that have gone in before him and those that he's being honored with tonight. Even though he was an amazing baseball player, one thing I hope Tate feels the most pride in being a Mountain View Toro and being a quarterback at Mountain View. Tate set the standard for success as quarterback at Mountain View. His run while at the helm will never be matched. Back-to-back undefeated state championships and part of an amazing 40 wins in a row. Tate will always be remembered as one of the best to play the position. We at Mountain View know and honor Tate for who he is and all he accomplished. As a fellow Mountain View Toro quarterback, it is a great honor for me to introduce the newest Mesa Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Tate Gunning.
I went to high school at Mountain View High School in Mesa. I played basketball my sophomore year, and then my junior and senior year just football and baseball only. So at Mountain View High School, I played basketball, football, and baseball. I never really hit my second growth spurt, so I ended up playing baseball in college at Arizona State. But in high school, you know, football was, in those days at Mountain View High School, we had so much momentum of guys that had grown up, you know, together, this tall, playing Pop Warner and Little League baseball and such together, that football was the thing I remember most about high school. But I took a scholarship to Arizona State after high school to play baseball. The most memorable moment in high school by far was my junior and senior year. We went undefeated in football, state champs, and in those days we played at Arizona State University, and it was tradition from historical Mountain View, dating back to Jesse Parker and Joe Germain and Griff Goodmans and some of those teams, to lay down on the field and just kind of bask in the grass, you know, after the game. So we got to do that twice, and that's something I'll never forget. You know, my dad, to be perfectly honest, was with me the entire time, and my support circle with, you know, my mom and my grandfather, who's also a Hall of Fame member, was my immediate support circle. But my dad, in a lot of ways, was a brilliant coach. You know, he could take a little league a child and groom him into a young man, and he was very, very good at doing that. He taught me the fundamentals of the game and how to observe the field, and you know, the way the bat was supposed to hit the ball and such. But when we met Coach Bernie Buskin my freshman year, you know, in a junior high at Keno in those days, it was a 3-year high school, Mountain View was, everything changed. You know, he was expert at getting players to rise to a higher level, and camaraderie, and really understanding the game of football on a level that I had never been taught before. You know, what was most important to me, and I get goosebumps when I say it, is the teammates. It's, looking back, those are just special moments, whether it was in a locker room, or, you know, or off the field, or especially on the field. You know, you learned leadership. You know, you learned how to survive, how to communicate. it's kind of fun looking back and thinking about all the hard work and effort that it took to win state championships and to get a college scholarship. But the thing that I love the most is my teammates, and just guys that you go to the grind with every day, and who show up to work and they do their job and their role and their responsibility, and that's what makes a great team. My name is Tate Gunning. I played basketball, football, and baseball at Mountain View High School. Go Toros! I think everybody's ready to get out of here. It's getting late. A lot of people may not make the connection, but it's a good starting point, and then I'll keep it brief. But tradition, in Mesa or your hometown, wherever you're from, just the community component is a powerful thing. It makes me really grateful to think about watching the rival coach on the field, and just admiring the people that you look up to as a young child. I see Joe Germain and here in front of me, and then, his son, and the tradition that's passed around. I mean, I remember playing, getting picked by Joe. I was this tall, and he was 4 or 5 years older than me. Wiffle ball game at the Goodman's house, on the side lot, and to me that that was the highlight of my career, was getting picked to play on Joe's team, as a youngster. So I think the takeaway is just really simple. It's with everything that's going on around us, all the chaos on our cell phones, all the distractions that we're met with in life, all the simple and the hard components of being a good friend and a family member, being supported in a community is just a really special thing. 50 years ago, my grandfather from my senior year had won 2 state championships in high school and was inducted into the Hall of Fame on this stage, and he's passed away a couple years now, but just a really special moment to go down a rough road and realize how special everything is once you're removed from that, and really look back. Dad on third base, coach, cussing at umpires, grandpa in the stands, yelling at the umpires for a bad call, mom with cookies and orange wedges after the game, sister cheerleading, and just family, friends, people that you grow up with and love. It's just a really special thing. Thanks to everybody for coming out, and I hope everybody has a good night.
Truly is a great, great young man. I can tell you, watching him play was amazing, and then his character was even more impressive. If we could have all the inductees gather over here, we're going to have a photo op with all the inductees tonight. What's that? All right. On behalf of the committee, I want to thank everybody that's been here tonight. And again, a big, big round of applause for all our inductees for their accomplishments and for recognizing them. And to all the families, friends, moms, dads, coaches, thank you so much for all that you've done. You guys be safe, and we'll look forward to seeing y'all next year. And all the inductees, if you'd please come up.